So the Aces winning game 2, in my opinion, was a given. I thought it was going to be nearly impossible for the Indiana Fever to go and win game 2, but I gotta say, I am in shock by this. I am absolutely in shock that Nelissa Smith scored 18 points. And yes, this was a career game, career important game for Nelissa Smith. We all know that. We all know that Nelissa Smith was horrific in the playoffs last year. Nelissa Smith was not good in game 1. Nelissa Smith has not played well against the Fever this year. So a lot of people are like, oh, Nelissa Smith, she always cooks Fever. She cooked the Fever yesterday. Like, Nelissa Smith has been a liability for the Aces in the playoffs this year. Like, if you look at Nelissa Smith's minutes, she went and played 15. She played 31 in a loss, 25 in a game 1 win where they destroyed them, and then got less minutes in game 3 because she was terrible in game 2, and then barely played in game 1. So Nelissa Smith had been playing her way almost out of the rotation. Meg Gustafson was playing almost as many minutes. But the weird thing is with Nelissa Smith is we're now looking at a game where she scores 18 points and couldn't even hit a free throw. She couldn't even hit a free throw. Like, it's scary for me. It's scary when we're looking at these type of things. And like, if you are letting Nelissa Smith, and the problem is you let Nelissa Smith play her game. If you know anything about Nelissa Smith, so what Nelissa Smith is very good at, she's very, very good at finishing in space. So if you let Nelissa Smith, drive to the basket, if you let her one-on-one do that Euro step, finish above, she's really good. She's really good. If you let her if you give her space to kind of back down and do her post move, score, really good. Like, if you let Nelissa Smith play her game, she's really good. But if you take her out of her game even slightly, if you make her guard in space, if you make her be a help side defender and throw up some pump fakes, because she's not the worst on-ball defender in the world, if she can stay honest. If you go head down at her, she can be pretty good. Or sorry, she's not great. If you can throw pump fakes, but you go head down at her, she's okay. And she's a decent enough shot blocker at times. But I have to say, Nelissa Smith is a player that you need to exploit. Like, she's not a player that you can, that should be, a player you're worried about. She is the weak link. She's the player that you have to look at and go, we are attacking her. But the Indiana Fever didn't. They just straight up didn't. They did not attack Nelissa Smith in any way. And not only did they not attack her in this game, she completely destroyed Natasha Howard. And you gotta say, fair play to Nelissa Smith. Like, this is a game that, Nelissa Smith has an 18-point game in her. She had, let's not be naive. Like, she had a couple of big 20-point games for the Fever. She averaged 10 and 8 last year or something, even much better stats last year than this year. She averaged 15 and 10 the year before. So, we all know Nelissa Smith, she's had a couple of 30-point games in her career. She is capable of getting buckets. She's absolutely capable of getting buckets. And I think in general that this is one of those ones where she is, we know that she can do this, but you've got to exploit her. Because if you're not exploiting Nelissa Smith, if you're Steph White and you're not exploiting Nelissa Smith, and that's not your tactic, is to exploit her, then you're going to then suddenly let Nelissa Smith use her strengths. You've got to exploit Nelissa Smith's weaknesses, because if you're not exploiting her weaknesses, she can go and use her strengths, and we lose these games. The Fever have absolutely no chance at all of winning if they are allowing Nelissa Smith to hide her weaknesses. They're allowing Aja to hide Nelissa Smith's weaknesses. They're not attacking her off the ball. They're not putting her in constant actions, whether that be on the ball or off the ball. And the scariest thing is that Steph White is the coach who ran the I don't even know what I'm going to call the offense. I'm going to bring it up here, the Connecticut Sun offense. And I kid you not, you guys is here. Let me bring up paint. Paint online. I'm going to, you know, put in the old basketball court. Can I get a online basketball court whiteboard? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Tactical board online. Basketball. Where is basketball here? In the half court. They literally had their play where they had player here. Do I just drag it? Player here. Player here. Player here. Player here. And Alyssa Thomas just dribbled from here to here to here to here, while these players came down and set picks for these players who curled one at a time to here and then just waited. And every single time one of them got open because they exploited Caitlin Clark in game 2, but in game 1, Nelissa Smith, which is why she became unplayable because they just ran that bullshit. And we watched Nelissa Smith not be put in any off-ball actions. We watched Natasha Howard playing to Nelissa Smith's strength. We watch her doing nothing on the offensive end other than getting in the way and allowing Nelissa Smith just to stand there and get rebounds in space, which she's good at. She's good at. And then on the offensive end, we watch the pick and roll where Nelissa Smith is able to finish and her running in transition. And like Nelissa Smith's always been able to finish. She's absolutely always been able to finish. When she chooses to run in transition, she's always been able to do it. We've seen that from the Fever. And that's the most frustrating thing, is that everybody knows what Nelissa Smith can do. Everybody knows why Nelissa Smith was the second pick in a draft. Everybody knows why Nelissa Smith was seen as a future all-star a couple of years ago. But everyone also knows why Nelissa Smith was a massive liability for the Dallas Wings. Everyone knows why Nelissa Smith was a player the Fever had no interest in keeping. Everybody knows why Nelissa Smith was seen the way she was. But people know both of those things. So you have to exploit that. You absolutely have to exploit that. Allowing Nelissa Smith do what she wants is like allowing Caitlin Clark to shoot going left and pass going right and drive going right. Like, you've got to. And I understand the focus is on Aja. But when you've got a player like Nalyssa, there has to be some focus on exploiting her, at least on the defensive end. When it's like, these basketball games are chess matches. Like, you better believe Becky Hammon is exploiting weaknesses for the Fever, especially the Fever's offense. She's exploiting the fact that at all times the Indiana Fever are going to have one to two like players on the floor who can't score or can't shoot. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. Genuinely a big game for the Aces. I thought Becky Hammon did a fantastic job coaching. I thought she absolutely got the better of Caitlin Clark, or not Caitlin Clark, of Stephanie White. And we'll see coming into the next couple of games how that's going to play on. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.